Subject: ex-girlfriend cheated during a bachelorette party. Hey, true story. My name is Jermaine, and I appreciate the space you're giving men to tell their stories. I've been watching your channel for a while now, and I've heard so many wild stories that made me shake my head, but also made me feel less alone. I wasn't even sure if I should send this in, but I promised myself if I ever caught her cheating, I'd finally tell my truth. So here I am. Let me start from the beginning. I met my ex-girlfriend, let's call her Kayla, on a random Wednesday at a smoothie shop. Real casual. I had just left the gym, sweaty as hell, and she was in line ahead of me, wearing some yoga pants, hair in a bun, and AirPods in. I wasn't even going to say anything at first, but when she turned to look at the menu and made a face like she didn't know what to order, I just took the shot and said, "Get the mango pineapple. Trust me." She laughed and said, "That's what I was thinking." We talked for maybe 10 minutes. I didn't even try to be slick. I asked her right then if she had a boyfriend. She said no, so I got her number. We texted later that night, and the next week we were already going out. In the beginning, I really thought I'd found someone different. She wasn't overly flashy. She had her own apartment, a job at a dental office, and drove a decent car. She said she was done with toxic guys and wanted to find peace in life. I respected that. She seemed soft-spoken, didn't party much, and told me she was big on loyalty. She said she got cheated on by her last boyfriend and that she never wanted to make anyone feel the way she felt. For the first few months, everything was solid. We were both busy with work, so we'd usually just chill on weekends, watch movies, go hiking, maybe hit up a little restaurant or something. Her friends seemed cool at first, but that changed the more I got to know them. Kayla had two best friends, Jasmine and Carly, and both of them were full-on party girls. The types who always got free drinks at the bar because they dressed half naked and knew how to flirt. I'm not judging, but I'm not blind either. You know the type. Always talking about needing a girls' trip or bragging about how many guys are in their DMs. Jasmine was single and loving it, and Carly had a man but constantly called him controlling while texting other dudes when he wasn't around. Red flag #1. I told Kayla straight up I wasn't really a fan of those two. She told me I had nothing to worry about and that she's her own person. They're fun, but I'm not them, she said. I let it go, but I kept my eyes open after that. Fast forward to maybe 8 months into the relationship, we're solid. She's practically living at my place. She leaves a drawer of clothes, has a toothbrush and bonnet here, cooks sometimes, and even wanted to get a dog together. But then she starts acting weird when her cousin, Bianca, gets engaged. Bianca is the biggest red flag I've ever seen in human form. I'm not even exaggerating when I say this. Everyone in our city knows about Bianca. She's wild. She was that chick who did the most in high school and somehow got worse as an adult. People used to joke that she was the city's bicycle, everybody got a ride, but that wasn't even the worst part. Bianca got exposed years ago for being in some low-quality adult film when she was 20. The guy she used to mess with leaked it, and it spread like wildfire. She played it off and acted like she was empowered by it, but you could tell she was embarrassed. Still, that didn't stop her from partying even harder. She went to every club opening, posted thirst traps every day, and talked like men were just playthings. So imagine my surprise when I hear she's getting married. When Kayla told me, I said, "To who in their right mind?" She laughed, but I was dead serious. I couldn't believe it. Turns out, Bianca met some dude on a cruise, and within 6 months they were engaged. I didn't even know the guy, but I felt bad for him off the strength of what I knew about her. Now here's where the storm starts brewing. Bianca plans this huge bachelorette weekend in a nearby city. They were going to rent an Airbnb, hit the bars, go to a male review show, basically a strip show for women, and party all weekend. Kayla came to me all excited like, "Babe, we're going to Bianca's bachelorette party in 2 weeks." The second she said it, my stomach dropped. I asked, "Who all is going?" She listed off Jasmine, Carly, two of Bianca's wildest cousins, a girl named Tiara, who literally posted herself twerking on Instagram every other day, and some chick who just got divorced and wanted to celebrate her freedom. Man, come on. I didn't say anything right away, but my face must have said it all. She caught on quick and hit me with, "Don't start, Jermaine. This is for Bianca. I'm just going to support my cousin." I said, "You know how this looks, right? A house full of party girls, no men, drinking, strippers, and you expect me to just smile and say have fun?" She got defensive, told me I was being insecure, said, "You either trust me or you don't." And that's the part that always gets me. The "you either trust me or you don't" card. Like men are just supposed to ignore all logic and instincts because saying something makes us controlling. So I dropped it. I didn't want to argue, but inside, I knew something didn't feel right. The week leading up to the party, Kayla was acting different, getting waxed, buying lingerie, getting her hair done, and acting secretive with her phone. I didn't want to accuse her of anything, so I played dumb. But it was hard. Every man knows that gut feeling. Something just wasn't right. She left on a Friday, told me she'd be back Sunday night. I walked her to her car, kissed her goodbye, and said, "Be safe." She said, "I love you." And I wanted to believe it. I really did. But I couldn't ignore that feeling in my chest. So instead of sitting around and going crazy, I did something I never thought I'd do. I made some calls. One of my homeboys works in security and has friends all over the city. I asked him to find out which Airbnb they were staying at. He laughed at first, said I was doing the most, but when I told him who it involved, he was like, "Oh yeah, say less." He got the address. I didn't plan on going at first. I really didn't. I just wanted peace of mind. But that night, around 10 p.m., I opened Kayla's location on Snapchat, and she had turned it off. That's when I snapped. She never turns her location off. Not even once. So why now? I called. No answer. I texted. No response. It was like the universe was screaming at me to go. So I got in my car, drove the 45 minutes to the Airbnb, and parked around the corner. I waited. Watched girls come and go, laughter, music, screaming. One of the girls even twerked on the porch while holding a bottle of tequila. I saw a few guys come up, dapping girls up like they were regulars. At least 3 different dudes walked in that weren't part of the original group. This wasn't some harmless sleepover. This was full-on chaos. I waited till it got quiet. Around 1:30 a.m., I walked around the back. The place had a small patio and a sliding door. To my surprise, it wasn't locked. I slipped in through the kitchen and heard music coming from upstairs. Now, true story, I'm going to stop here for now because what I saw next is something I still see in my dreams, and not the good kind. In part 2, I'll explain how I crept up those stairs, found the bedroom door cracked open, and saw Kayla doing something I'll never forget. She wasn't drunk. She wasn't just dancing. She had invited someone over. The worst part? She smiled at him the same way she used to smile at me. I'll send that part in next, but I wanted to get this off my chest first. If you read this on the channel, thanks for the time. There's more to come. Part 2. I snuck into the Airbnb and caught my girl cheating. Hey, true story, Jermaine. Here again. First off, I appreciate you taking the time to take my first email. That wasn't easy to write, but honestly, just getting it out made me feel like I could finally breathe again. But as promised, I'm back to give you the rest. The part I didn't even tell my closest friends about until recently. The part that plays like a movie in my head, but it ain't a comedy and sure as hell ain't a romance. Let's go back to where I left off. I'm standing in the Airbnb kitchen, lights off, heart beating like I ran a mile. It's around 1:30 a.m., and everything inside me is screaming, don't do this. Just turn around, walk away, go home, and confront her later. But something kept pulling me forward. I don't know if it was the silence or the sick gut feeling that was growing stronger with every step. I could hear music thumping upstairs, some trap song I couldn't even recognize, and muffled voices, laughter, high heels on hardwood. The air smelled like cheap perfume, liquor, and weed. This wasn't some cutesy girls' weekend. This was a whole mess waiting to explode. I crept up the stairs like I was in a war zone. No lie, I was shaking. Not because I was scared of getting caught. Nah, I was scared of what I might see. Second floor had a hallway with 3 doors. One was the bathroom. One looked like a storage room, and the third was cracked open. Dim purple LED lights pouring out like something out of a club. That door was where the music was coming from, and the sounds of a woman giggling. I paused right outside that door, and then I heard her voice, Kayla. That fake little giggle she always did when she was flirting. I used to think it was cute. Now it made my skin crawl. I looked through the crack in the door. True story. I wish I was making this up. I really do. Kayla was sitting on the edge of the bed wearing a silk robe, one I'd never seen before, and her hair was messed up like somebody had been pulling on it. She was holding a red Solo cup, and sitting next to her was a guy I'd never seen in my life. Tall dude, gold chain, no shirt on, tattoos down his arms. He was leaning in close, whispering in her ear, and she was eating it up. She put her hand on his chest, laughed again, and then they kissed. I didn't even have time to think. My hand pushed the door all the way open before I could stop myself. Kayla gasped and jumped up. The dude jumped too, looking at me like, who the hell is this? And I stood there, calm, too calm. I said, so this is what loyalty looks like, huh? Kayla stammered, Jermaine, what are you doing here? I looked right at her. You turned your location off. That was all I needed to know. The dude stepped toward me like he was going to say something, but I didn't even flinch. I just looked at Kayla and said, don't even try to lie. I saw everything. She tried to pull the robe close tighter. It's not what it looks like. I laughed. Really? 'Cause it looks exactly like what it looks like. That's when the other girls started coming upstairs. Jasmine peeked in, gasped, and yelled, oh my God, Jermaine. You can't just barge in here. I said, shut up, I'm talking to her. Kayla kept begging me to leave. She tried grabbing my arm, tried crying, but none of it hit me. You know when your body just goes numb? When your soul feels like it detached from your body? That was me. I didn't scream, didn't punch walls. I just looked her in the eyes and said, you chose this, so live with it. Then I turned to the guy and said, enjoy the leftovers. He tried to flex, but Jasmine got in the way and pushed him back. I walked out, calm, quiet, like I just watched the credits roll on a movie that ended exactly how I knew it would. Back in my car, I sat there in silence for a good 30 minutes. Phone blowing up, calls, texts, voicemails, all from Kayla. I didn't answer. I didn't want explanations. I didn't want tears. I didn't want to hear the words, I made a mistake. Because here's the thing. It wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. She chose to pack lingerie. She chose to turn off her location. She chose to kiss some random dude in a house full of chaos. I drove home that night feeling like a fool, but also weirdly at peace, because the truth finally revealed itself. That little voice I'd been ignoring for weeks, that gut feeling, it was right all along. The next day, she showed up at my apartment, banging on the door, crying, saying, can I please just talk to you? I didn't open it. I looked through the peephole and saw her sitting on the floor like some sad R&B music video, tears rolling down her face. I let her sit there for an hour. Then I texted, you can go. There's nothing left to say. After she left, I blocked her number, her Instagram, everything. I even blocked her mom, who tried to message me later saying, "She's really sorry, Jermaine. Please don't throw this away." Throw this away. Lady, your daughter threw it away. She torched it. Over the next few weeks, the story started spreading. Apparently, Kayla told her friends I snuck in like a stalker and overreacted. But most people who knew me weren't buying it. The ones who saw us together knew I was loyal, knew I held her down, paid for dates, showed up, never cheated, never even looked at another woman. I gave her all the reasons to trust me. She gave me every reason not to trust her. And now I'm doing all right, still healing, still processing. I started hitting the gym harder, focused on my business, cut off toxic people, stopped ignoring red flags, and I learned something. True story. You don't lose someone who disrespects you. You free yourself. After I exposed her and left, I went full no contact, blocked her on everything. Didn't care to hear her excuses. Didn't need to. I saw enough. She tried coming to my door, texting from other numbers, and even had her mom reach out, but I stood firm. But months went by, and recently she found a new way in. Let me explain. A couple weeks ago, I got a random follow on Instagram from some page called Healing with Humility. It was private, no profile picture, no posts. The bio just said starting over. I almost denied it, but something about the name caught my eye. I've been working on growing my IG lately, posting gym stuff, motivation, trying to rebuild myself, and I usually accept people who seem harmless. So I hit accept. Didn't think anything of it. But about a day later, I got a DM. I know you probably don't want to hear from me. I wasn't sure if I should say anything, but this has been eating me alive. Please just read this. You don't have to reply. I froze. I didn't recognize the username, but the tone felt familiar. Then she sent a second message. It's Kayla. I almost dropped my phone. I laughed out loud at first, not because it was funny, but because I genuinely couldn't believe she found a way around the block list. After everything, after all the fake tears and betrayal, this girl still wanted to talk. I stared at the message for a few minutes. I wasn't going to respond, but curiosity won. I didn't type anything back. I just kept reading. What she sent next was a wall of text, like multiple paragraphs. She poured her heart into it, or at least tried to. Here's what she wrote, word for word. Jermaine, I know I don't deserve a single second of your attention after what I did. I've thought about messaging you for months, but I didn't want to reopen wounds. I also knew I didn't have the right. But I created this private account just to reach you in case you ever wanted to hear what I never got the chance to say. That night, I messed up. Bad. There's no excuse for what I did. No way to spin it or minimize it. You gave me your full heart, and I broke it. I betrayed someone who loved me when I didn't even realize how lucky I was to have you. I won't blame the alcohol. I won't blame my friends. The truth is, I was stupid. I got caught up in the attention, in the moment. I let other people influence my choices and forgot the man I had at home who would have moved mountains for me. After you left that night, I cried so hard I couldn't breathe. Jasmine and Carly tried to talk me down, but I told them to leave me alone. I knew I lost you, and I knew I deserved it. The days after, I tried to reach you. I wanted to explain, even though I knew there was nothing I could say that would change what you saw. Your silence hurt, but I respected it. You owed me nothing. My life hasn't been the same since. I've been in therapy, not just because of what I did to you, but because I finally had to face how lost I was. I had no boundaries, no self-respect. I was following people who never cared about me. Bianca? She's already cheating on her husband, by the way. I found that out a month ago. The guy from the party? I didn't even know his last name. He was just someone Bianca knew from her DMs. I haven't spoken to him since that night. I deleted all my old social media accounts, changed my number, cut off everyone who helped ruin me. I think about you more than I want to admit. The way you'd wake up early just to bring me coffee. The way you always protected me, even from myself. You were the best thing that ever happened to me, Jermaine, and I destroyed it. I'm not asking for another chance. I'm not even asking for forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I'm sorry, truly. I hope you're doing well. I hope you find someone who sees your worth and never lets go. Kayla. I sat there for a long time after reading that, like a long time, just staring at my phone, and I'm not gonna lie. My first reaction wasn't anger. It was sadness. Not because I missed her, not because I wanted her back, but because I remembered the version of her I thought she was. The woman I believed in. The one I let into my home, my bed, my heart. That woman didn't exist. She was a mask. What hit me the hardest, though, was that line. You protected me, even from myself. Because it was true. I saw how reckless her world was. I tried to shield her from the people who didn't love her the way I did. And she let those same people poison everything. As for her apology, I'll give her this. She owned it. No gaslighting. No deflecting. No, we were on a break nonsense. She said it plain. She cheated. She ruined it. And I respect that level of accountability, even if it came months too late. But here's the thing, true story. Closure doesn't mean you let people back in. I didn't respond to her. I didn't need to. Her message was for her, not for me. I already made peace with what happened. I moved on, not to another woman, but to myself. I started loving myself again, believing in myself again. Kayla's apology didn't shake me. It didn't tempt me. It just confirmed what I already knew. She was sorry, but that didn't mean she was safe. Let me say that again for the men out there. She can be sorry and still not be safe. An apology is nice, but the damage was done. Trust was broken. And I'm not in the business of rebuilding bridges that someone else burned with gasoline and a smile on their face. So what now? Now I keep moving forward. The gym is still my sanctuary. My business is growing. I've started writing more, reading more, and focusing on my health, mentally and physically. Do I date? Not yet. Not because I'm bitter, but because I want to be whole before I try again. I want to make sure the next woman gets the best version of me. The version I gave Kayla without hesitation. So that's the update. She came crawling back, but this time, digitally and quietly. Maybe that's what she had to do for her own growth. Maybe she'll learn something from it. But me? I already learned. Thanks again for letting men share their truth out here. There are not many safe spaces for us to speak openly about betrayal, heartbreak, or the gut punches life throws our way. But your channel, it's needed and appreciated.